Good day, everyone. Welcome to Real Conservative Headline News. I'm your host, Nathaniel Rajkumar. Starting off locally here in Trinidad and Tobago. Government will next week add $2.93 billion in supplemental funds to the 2026 budget, mainly to pay for salary increases for 62,050 unionized workers. And the mid-year review of the budget will subsequently be delivered on June 15th. This was indicated by Prime Minister Kamla Persad-Bissessar, Queen Kamla, and Finance Minister Dave Tanku, aka Tax Coup, in the House of Representatives on Friday. The man who's famous now for double fines and double fees and everything doubled, except doubles itself. Prime Minister Bissessar said the House will meet again between next Wednesday and June 15th on the respective processes. The finance bill, which will give effect to measures announced in the 2026 budget, will be presented when the House meets at 10:30 a.m. next Wednesday. The Parliament's Standing Finance Committee, comprising House MPs, will meet next Friday afternoon to discuss the approve the sums involved in the total $2.3 billion, which will supplement budget allocations in various areas. Now, this is good news, people. This is good news. Hopefully that means that people will be able to receive their back pay and so forth. That is good news. But at the end of the day, as I keep telling people now, while they're doing good in some ways, they're overshadowing it a lot of evil. They continue to impose this very draconian, unconstitutional, in my opinion, SOE upon the entire population. And no, it's no longer just affecting the criminals in society. Law-abiding citizens are now being prohibited from peacefully protesting, including members of the unions. Yes, people. The Kamla Persad-Bissessar regime and the supporters will say, but what are you talking about? They haven't prevented anybody protesting. Yes, we understand that. But they are restricting zones. They are now restricted zones, areas where people cannot go and protest that usually even UNC individuals used to protest in or protest by. Yes, and those are strategic, significant zones, significant areas by government offices where people would usually be able to send a powerful message to the government that is in office. And Kamla now is making sure that no one can go and protest in those areas. So while this is good, that most likely, let's just hope so that the money will be utilized to pay people's back pay. While this is good news, it is being overshadowed by a lot of evil, including increasing of even more fines now. Double, I tell you, everything is double for them, So how much you can really celebrate news when something like this comes out? You can't really celebrate this that much. Following its return to the local energy sector in August 2025, ExxonMobil has fast-tracked a massive seismic program. Prime Minister Kamla Persad-Bissessar says the project is nearing its first major milestone, putting Trinidad and Tobago in better standing internationally. Once again, good news, people. Good news. Seismic acquisition is now about 85% complete, with full acquisition expected by late July of this year. Following ExxonMobil's entry into Block TTUD1, we have experienced significant international interest. Once again, this is good news, as I said, but the thing about it is, you know what is the good news I really want to hear? And more than a year has passed and we haven't heard it yet. When is Petrotrin going to be reopened? Because this is good, but we want our refinery reopened. And all we continue to get is more promises and promises and promises. Yes, it will open. You're sounding almost like Rowley. Rowley said he wasn't going to close it down, and then he ended up closing it. But now you're telling us that you'll open it, and we ain't up to now, yes, you open it up to now, What you really waiting on, Kamla and crew?
That seismic acquisition is now about 85% complete, with full acquisition expected by late July of this year. Following ExxonMobil's entry into Block TTUD1, we have experienced significant international interest, Mr. Speaker.
That international interest has quickly paid off, bringing another global energy giant to the table, Occidental Petroleum, also known as Oxy.
We are pleased to welcome another major American energy company into Trinidad and Tobago. The government, via the Minister of Energy and Energy Industries, has approved a farm-in to Block TTUD1 by Occidental Petroleum Corporation, Oxy, with a 10% participating interest. Mr. Speaker, that has only materialized thanks to the Minister of Energy and the Minister of Energy within the last couple of days that this has happened.
International news now. 172,000 jobs were created in May in the USA. That's about 4 times higher than anticipated. President Trump says the jobs report crushed expectations for the 3rd straight month, prompting cheers at an agricultural roundtable in Wisconsin. He highlighted the report as a sign of economic strength despite ongoing military tensions abroad. He's correct about that as well, but he's messing up badly in the Middle East. You need to finish the job in Iran instead of playing games with terrorists. These are the strongest job numbers of the entire administration so far, he went on to say.
For the 3rd month in a row, the jobs numbers, I guess you saw them this morning, they just got released and they smashed all expectations by actually 3 times and this is during a military conflict. I call it that because it's really not that much of a war, but it's a military conflict. It's the practice. But this is 172,000 jobs were created in May. That's about 4 times higher than anticipated. And experts predicted 30,000 jobs. These are the strongest job numbers of the entire administration so far, and that's during this conflict on top of it. So it's great.
Over the weekend, the Israeli Defense Force struck approximately 150 Hezbollah terrorist infrastructure sites in southern Lebanon. Southern Lebanon, so you know that means it's close to the border. The Hezbollah terrorists are trying to still attack Israel, even though Trump continues to attempt to make peace between Lebanon and Israel. The problem is there will be no peace as long as Hezbollah is present in that country. Over the weekend, the IDF struck weapons storage facilities, command centers, rocket launchers, and additional Hezbollah terrorist infrastructure sites in southern Lebanon. The infrastructure sites struck were used by Hezbollah terrorists to advance and execute terror attacks against IDF soldiers. And of course, they would have been attempting to attack Israeli civilians that live in the northern region of Israel as well, once given the chance to do so. And sadly, the world continues to demonize Israel when they even carry out preemptive strikes to prevent the Hezbollah terrorists from carrying out attacks against both the IDF soldiers and the Israeli population. The world tells Israel, you know what? No, allow them to attack you. And just hope and pray that you could be able to defend yourselves and nobody dies. That makes a lot of sense. If you know that somebody is going to come and attack your home, you wouldn't try to protect it, or you wouldn't try to defend yourself and your family. Makes a lot of sense. Makes a lot of sense. So let's just take one more example. Let's just say, whether it's in America or even here in Trinidad and Tobago, that you hear that a particular group is going to try to go and attack a police station. Wouldn't you go and arrest them first? Wouldn't you go and and be proactive and take the initiative to go and attack them and arrest them first? That's what you're supposed to do. Well, that's what Israel is doing. But when it pertains to war, you can't just go and arrest, because you're talking about people that are armed, very armed and dangerous terrorists. So you have to strike them. I always tell people there's a difference between war and what police are supposed to do. Police are supposed to be carrying out preemptive strikes. Police are not supposed to be using extrajudicial justice. But they are supposed to go and carry out raids if they know that an attack is going to take place against the state or against them. They're supposed to go and raid that particular area and arrest all the individuals once they have the evidence to do so. But when you pertain into war and you're dealing with a foreign enemy, you don't need to go and arrest them. You carry out preemptive strikes.
1 Peter 3:13-15 NIV. Who is going to harm you if you are eager to do good? But even if you should suffer for what is right, you are blessed. Do not fear their threats, do not be frightened. But in your hearts revere Christ as Lord. Always be prepared to give an answer to everyone who asks you to give the reason for the hope that you have. But do this with gentleness and respect.
Folks, that brings us to the end of today's headline news. Thanks again to everyone who continues to support my content. Please like, comment, share, and subscribe. Stay blessed and stay safe most of all. In Jesus' name.